For 15 years, this young man didn't know who his father was. Then he met one of these three men. Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Michael Levine.
Number two.
My name is Michael Levine.
Number three.
My name is Michael Levine.
Only one of these people is the real Michael Levine, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel, actor and raconteur Orson Bean, Emmy Award-winning actress Betty White, co-star of Night Court Richard Moll, and to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our show. If you will indulge me for just a moment, I'd like to begin this program with a brief confession. To tell the truth, I am absolutely thrilled to be here because for the very first time in over 18 years of hosting television shows here at NBC, this is the first time I get to work sitting down. And I thank NBC for this relief, believe me.
How does it feel?
Well, it feels a little low. I think they gave me the shaft. There we go. Hello, panel. All right, let's get to the story represented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Michael Levine. And this is his story. Please read along with me. I, Michael Levine, went on vacation and came home with a 15-year-old son. When I was a teenager, I had worked on a volunteer construction project in St. Lucia, a tropical island paradise. While there, I had a brief romantic encounter with a young woman and then returned to life in America. 15 years later, a bachelor buddy of mine suggested we go on a Caribbean vacation. Coincidentally, we arrived in St. Lucia. I told my friend about my previous trip. Retelling the story aroused my curiosity, and the next morning we went to the same village I had visited 15 years earlier. We learned that the woman had moved away to the hills and that she had a son. They called him Yellow Boy. At that moment, I knew I was a father. We asked around some more and found out my son worked in a nearby village. The next day, I met Tony, and now he lives with me. And it's signed, Michael Levine. Welcome, gentlemen. We'll find out more about our Bachelor Father right after this.
Guess, think, peril, skill, lingo.
Lingo, redefining words.
I like to shop every day. 8 a.m. sharp, Sal's Fruit Market. Oh, he's got the best tomatoes in town. When I started chemo, my doctor said that I might become anemic, maybe feel weak. I never expected to be too tired to make it to Sal's. The day that he had to deliver my order was one of the saddest days of my life. Thank you, Sal. I asked my doctor about Procrit.
Procrit is for chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer. If you're on chemotherapy and too tired to do the things you used to do, talk to your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. And more red blood cells can mean more strength.
Welcome back, Mrs. Mantini.
Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
Buying fresh takes a little more energy, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
What are you doing?
I couldn't decide, so I brought a bunch home. Thinking of going with the white.
Where can you get the top 6 appliance brands, including Kenmore? Where can you get great credit options? Where can you get a price match guarantee? Sears. Where else?
All right, right, panel. These three gentlemen all claim to be Michael Levine, who met his son for the very first time on a tropical island. Let's start the questioning with you, Kitty.
Thank you. Number one, were you married when you went back for the second time?
No, I wasn't.
Number two, did you recognize the boy as your son?
At first, no, not at all. But then I noticed he had the same nose I have.
And number three, did he have characteristics of your family that you could relate to?
He probably has more characteristics of other members of my family than he does to myself.
Well, that happens too.
Some good groundwork set up for you there, Richard. You begin the questioning now.
Yes, number one, what's your son's middle name?
He doesn't have a middle name.
What major island is Santa Lucia near, number three?
Martinique.
What college was it that you worked at, number one?
I worked in a college in West Palm Beach.
Called?
West Palm Beach College.
Sounds very straightforward. Betty?
Number two, why did they call him Yellow Boy?
Because of his mixed heritage.
Number three, was his mother alive when you went back to find him?
His mother is still alive today, yes. She was not on the island.
But number one, have you seen his mother?
Oh, you're out of time, Betty. Let's go to Orson.
Yeah, I've been to St. Lucia, and I must say they have the most beautiful women in the world. In fact, I was there about 15 years ago. That kid looks like... number one, now, is there a cultural problem on his part adjusting from island life to wherever you live?
Actually, no, I think I'm the one adjusting more than he is.
Number three, is it strange to have a son who says, hey, man, can I have my allowance? Does he talk in that wonderful way that the island people?
I had a hard time communicating. He speaks like a French dialect called patois, so it was kind of hard for me to understand.
Oui, man, I won my allowance. Number two, now, is his name Levine now?
No. We will not have time to pursue anything else. Time's up, panelists. It's time now for you to vote for one of these three gentlemen. Number one, number two, or number three. And our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is fooled completely, and that happens on occasion, the team will receive $3,000. Panelists, are you ready? Kitty?
It was very difficult because any one of them could be, they all look very young to have a 15-year-old son. And they're all good-looking enough to have won the heart of a maiden, an island maiden. But I voted for number two.
All right, let's go to Richard.
You're all liars! Every one of you! I don't vote for any of them. I had to vote for one, so I voted for number one because I used to have a press agent named Michael Levine, and he kind of looks like him.
I suppose that's as good a reason as any. Betty, who did you vote for?
Well, the answers were all very convincing. Perhaps because I spoke to number two at greater length, I voted for number two.
And Orson?
They're all great liars. I don't know. I voted for number two as well because he does have that kid's nose. I can see him sitting in the audience. And...
All right, the votes are all in. Let's see what we have. Number one managed to convince Richard. Number two was most convincing. He got the votes of all of the other panelists. And number three, no votes for you. So it's time now to find out who the real father is. And so, gentlemen, will the real Michael Levine please stand up?
It's number three.
Michael Levine is number three. Michael, we'll get back to you in just a moment. Let's find out who our imposters are. Number one, you got one vote. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Danielle Riddell, and I sell maternity clothes.
I see. Number two, you are the most convincing of our challengers. Who are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Stephen Douglas. I'm a sex educator and MFCC counselor.
Mercy.
Well, good for you. Gentlemen, you managed to stump our panel, and that means the team will receive $3,000. Michael, this was a most heartwarming story. You, number one, tried to touch on the adjustments your son Tony has had to make in coming to the United States. Where do you and Tony live?
In New Jersey.
And what's the biggest adjustment for him?
Probably the communication, actually, because his English is very broken English that's based on his French, and it's hard for him, a lot of people, to understand him when he talks.
Well, let's let him speak for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Michael Levine's son, Tony. Tony, welcome aboard. What's the best thing about living here in the United States, and what do you miss most about St. Lucia?
Well, the most thing I miss about St. Lucia is the weather condition, and the best thing I like here is I could go back to school again and start all over.
Well, good for you. Gentlemen, thank you all so much for sharing this story with us today and being with us on To Tell the Truth. We're going to come back with Marilyn Monroe's stand-in right after this.
You know the symptoms. No matter what you do, the heartburn keeps coming back.
The burn can stop you in your tracks.
You worry about the risk of long-term problems.
I got help. Learn to handle the disease and the risks in ways that make sense for me.
Call this number now for information and a free kit from Prevacid, a handbook on managing acid reflux disease and its risks, a risk alert profiler, a guide to making the most of your next doctor visit, and a 7-day free trial certificate to use if your doctor decides Prevacid is right for you. Prevacid fights acid reflux disease 3 ways. It beats the burn, helps heal the damage, and best of all, staying on Prevacid if prescribed can stop the damage from coming back. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. So if you want the power to manage the risks, heal the damage, and stay healed, call now for your free kit.
Every day, thousands of people are making the switch to IDT long distance. Here's why.
With IDT, I pay just 5 cents a minute for all of my state-to-state calls, all day, every day.
My daughter lives on the West Coast and I live on the East Coast, but we talk on the phone every day. With IDT, we can talk for 20 minutes and pay just $1.
Well, I switched to IDT because I found out I was paying too much with Sprint.
Too much with AT&T.
Way too much with MCI.
With IDT, I have no monthly minimums, no hidden charges.
No 1010 numbers, no time restrictions, no complicated plans.
And IDT doesn't round up to the next minute, so I don't pay for time I don't use.
Compare IDT at just 5 cents a minute with AT&T at 7 cents, Sprint at 10 cents, and MCI at 25 cents. You'll choose IDT.
I save money on every call. That's it.
5 cents a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. IDT long distance. No one does it for less.
Has Game Show Network got a deal for you?
It is 25!
Every Tuesday night, it's 2 hours of Let's Make a Deal, and to sweeten the deal, Monty Hall.
I love the way you said that.
Deal Tuesdays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern only on Game Show Network.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Our panelists were completely fooled with that first group. Let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Evelyn Moriarty.
Number 2.
My name is Evelyn Moriarty.
Number 3.
My name is Evelyn Moriarty.
It's up to our panel to locate the real Evelyn Moriarty, and here's her story. I, Evelyn Moriarty, was Marilyn Monroe's stand-in. I doubled for Marilyn on the movies Let's Make Love, The Misfits, and her last film, which she never finished, Something's Got to Give. Marilyn was a warm, sweet human being, and generous to a fault. In fact, I'd have to guard myself about admiring anything she was wearing. She'd either give it to me or get me a duplicate. On one occasion, I almost lost my hair trying to bleach it the same color as Marilyn's. I also had a frightening experience in The Misfits when I had to double for Marilyn driving a car. Only too soon did everyone realize I didn't know how to drive. By the way, you may notice that each of us has a mole on our face, but each mole is in a different place. That's because Marilyn's mole was fake, and she used to move it around. Marilyn's sense of humor was always with her. She once made up her own epitaph to read 37, 22, 35, R.I.P. And it's signed Evelyn Moriarty. Ladies, we're delighted to have you here. We're going to begin the questioning with a Marilyn Monroe fan, Orson Bean.
Indeed, I am, Alex. Yeah, I once read Marilyn described as the Venus de Milo sculptured in angel cake. Number 1, was she as lovely in person as she appeared to be in the films?
Absolutely. Yes, she was.
Number 3, you knew her right up to the end, like when she was working on that last picture, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I hear she was very good in that, in the bits of it that they still have.
She was wonderful.
Now, number 2, would you describe her as an unhappy person, or more as much as the public thinks, or what?
No, she was a very happy person.
Was she? Number 1, now that generosity, did she show that to everyone she worked with, or did she have a special relationship with you?
Well, we did have a special relationship.
I can imagine standing in for her all the time.
All right, Betty.
Number 2, how was she around the horses in the Misfits?
She was almost thrown from the horse she rode.
And number 1, what was her reaction to the horses in the Misfits?
She was afraid of them, yes.
Number 2, how was her relationship with Clark Gable in the Misfits?
She was in awe of Clark Gable.
Thank you.
Richard?
Number 1, what are you doing after the show? No, number 1, now come on, be serious now. Who's in the Misfits besides Clark Gable?
Eli Wallach.
Number 2, what kind of a car was it that you drove in this?
A station wagon.
What make?
I don't remember.
Number 3, what year was it made? Something's Got to Give.
1962.
1962.
So much for lonely Richard Mull's questioning, trying to line up a date for after the program. Kitty, over to you.
Number 1, do you believe that the stories that she committed suicide in the end?
Yes, I do.
Number 3, who was she married to at the time of her death?
She wasn't married.
And number 2, who was she married to during the Misfits?
Arthur Miller.
Number 1, how was her relationship with Arthur Miller?
Sorry, Kitty, we have to interrupt you. There's the signal. It's time now, panelists, to vote for who you think is the real Ms. Moriarty. Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? Orson, we're going to start with you.
Well, I don't know. I figure I voted for number 2 because I think her mole is in the best place, and she probably had first choice.
I see. Good a reason as any. Betty?
Well, I always remembered that Marilyn was never as tall or as big as, big she was, but not as tall as she, we all thought. So I think maybe I'm going to go for number 2 for that reason.
2 votes for number 2 so far. Richard?
Well, I didn't vote for number 1 because I didn't get the feeling she really wanted to go out with me. And number 3, I don't know, when she was up on the stage, up there taking her introduction, it looked like she was trying to be somebody she wasn't. I could be wrong there. So I'm going to vote for number 2.
So far, it's unanimous. Will it be a sweep for number 2, Kitty?
Oh, dear. Yes, it will be. I think it's number 2 as well.
I see. All right, well, all of the votes are in. Number 1 had no votes, primarily because she wouldn't go out with Richard after the show. Number 2 picked up all of our panel's votes, and number 3 got no votes as well. Let's find out who Marilyn Monroe's stand-in really is. Will the real Evelyn Moriarty please stand up? It is number 2. Evelyn, you got all 4 votes, and that means the team will receive that $1,000 guarantee. We'll find out about the imposters in just a moment, but I'd like you to talk to us about some of the pictures we brought along. The first photo we have here is of someone on a horse. Is that you or Marilyn?
That's me, and that's the horse that Marilyn rode that almost threw her. Her makeup man, Whitey.
I see.
Saved her.
And our next photograph?
That's on the set, in the bar room up in the Reno, on the Misfits set, where she did the paddleboard. She was supposed to get a double for that, but she did it, I think, 165 times.
Now, you doubled for her in the automobile. Did you also double for her riding the horse? And are you a good horsewoman?
No.
No, not at all? All right, well, let's find out who our imposters are. Number 1, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Gigi St. John. I sell women's clothing at Casual Corner.
Well, we're happy to have you here today. And number 3, who are you? And tell me a little bit about yourself. Your name first.
I'm Norma Jean Yon.
Really, Norma Jean?
Really, Norma Jean. It's on my birth certificate. Norma Jean Yon, and I'm a clerical worker.
Well, it was great having you with us today. And again, a $1,000 guarantee for you. Thank you so much, ladies. We'll be back to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience right after this.
Yeah, your favorite show on the Game Show Network with the president chick, Nixon?
Kennedy, you dumb foe.
Yeah. Well, they got all new episodes with new friends and new foes and the whole friending deal.
Be a good fella and watch all new episodes of Friend or Foe weeknights at 10:30 on Game Show Network.
Calendar check. It's the beginning of the month. It's Jet Dry Day. Give me some more Jet Dry. Bullseye. Another sparkling load. You're shining. You love it.
Jet Dry. Once a month, every month for sparkling dishes.
Pat Murphy starred for the Invention Channel.
One of our viewers writes, Dear Invention Channel, recently I've become more concerned about my blood pressure. Is there an effective blood pressure monitor that's easy to use and reasonably priced? Signed, Fran from New Jersey. Well, Fran, we found just what you're looking for, the Wrist-Tech blood pressure monitor. It displays the systolic and diastolic blood pressure and your pulse rate at the push of a button. Here's how it works.
Ordinary blood pressure monitors are bulky and hard to use. The Wrist-Tech easily attaches to your wrist. All you do is press the green button and it does the rest. In less than a minute, the large, easy-to-read numbers tell you your systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, and pulse rate. It even has a built-in digital date and clock. Now, here's the best part. There's no need to chart your results. The Wrist-Tech has an automatic memory that recalls your readings and even tells you the date and time those blood pressures were taken.
Now, listen to what these healthcare professionals have to say.
I've sold a lot of blood pressure devices. I'm amazed at the quality and the low price.
It's important to have your doctor check your blood pressure, and it's just as important to check it at home during various times of the day.
Wrist-Tech is easy to use, and that means our patients will actually use it. I even bought one for my parents.
Wrist-Tech blood pressure monitors sell for $130. Order your Wrist-Tech blood pressure monitor for just 3 easy payments of $19.99. It comes with the Invention Channel's money-back guarantee. As a special bonus, will also include the Sportsmate talking pedometer, a $20 value, and it's yours free. Just pay the shipping and handling. It actually tells you the distance you've jogged or walked.
0.22 miles.
Plus, it's a full-function alarm clock.
Call the Invention Channel now and get your own Wrist-Tech blood pressure monitor.
Your Wrist-Tech comes complete with talking pedometer for 3 easy payments of $19.99. Call now.
To order Wrist-Tech, call 1-800-252-1697. That's 1-800-252-1697. Or send a check or money order to the address listed.
So far in our program, we've gone from the agony of defeat to the thrill of victory. The panelists were 0 for 4 the first time and 4 for 4 the second time. And now we have to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience. Burton, who do you have for us today, please?
Alex, today we have Gordon Henderson from Los Angeles, California.
Hello, Gordon.
Hi,
Here's
Alex.
your chance to play one-on-one and win some cash in the process. I want you to meet a gentleman who has 2 stories to tell. Let's welcome Sam Watson. Gordon, Sam is going to tell us 2 stories, only one of which is the truth. And if you can spot the true story, you will win $500. Sam, what's your first story?
Last month, John F. Kennedy Jr. passed the bar. I just hired him as my assistant.
Well, that certainly sounds plausible. It may or may not be the truth. Let's listen to Sam's second story.
I design unusual earrings. They are called safe ears. Inside each earring is a condom.
Sam, would you repeat that last part again, please? You design earrings?
Unusual earrings called safe ears. Inside each is a condom.
Thank you very much. All right, panel, to help Gordon up there win $500, you'll get to ask 1 question about each story. And we'll start with story number 1, the Kennedy story. Kitty?
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Watson. Who did John F. Kennedy work for before he worked for you?
He worked for a district attorney in New York City.
Thank you.
Richard?
Joe Jr. was always a slow child. How many times did he take the bar exam before he passed?
He took it twice.
Betty?
What kind of law does your organization, or you and he, specialize in?
Primarily corporate law.
Corporate.
Orson?
Do you think you're going to hold on to him, or do you expect to see him getting into public life one day?
Well, our hope is that we'll hold on to him.
Me too.
All right, now let's get to story number 2, Gordon. This is the one about the earrings with condoms in them, and I can't tell you how happy I am that we're starting the questioning at this end of the panel and not that end. I know about Orson and Betty. Kitty?
Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson, are these condoms for midgets?
No, they're not.
Richard?
This gives the expression "in your ear" a whole new meaning, doesn't it? I'll tell you. Boy. Did you used to work for the Cracker Jack people? I'm just curious. Okay, but seriously.
Is that your question? Oh,
what,
now's your question.
No, that's right. That was rhetorical. Okay, tell me, what brand of condoms do you put in there?
They're called gold circle coin condoms.
Ooh, those are the best.
Betty?
How do you get a whole apartment building in a little bitty earring? That's what I want.
We'll assume that, too, is a rhetorical question.
Yes,
It's a condominium.
Oh, pardon me. When did you first get the idea for this product?
Well, when I saw the big gold coin, I thought that you might be able to get a condom inside.
I see.
And Orson.
I just love this whole line of questioning and listening to Kitty moaning quietly at the end. Oh, dear. Now, you don't sell your earrings in machines in the men's room, do you, I suppose?
No.
No, thank you. You look about as happy as Kitty
That's your
does.
question. All right, Gordon, you have heard the cross-examination. Did Sam hire John F. Kennedy Jr., or does he design condom earrings?
Well, he looks like somebody who's trying to look like a lawyer, but I'm not buying that. So I'm going to say that he designed condom earrings.
All right. Sam Watson, what's your true story?
To tell the truth, I designed condom earrings.
Congratulations to you. You just won $500 in cash. And thanks to Sam Watson for playing one-on-one with us. We'll take a break and we'll come back right after this.
On Friend or Foe, Kathy voted friend and got nothing. Rachel voted foe and got Kathy's $6,000. On September 30th, it's 5 all-new episodes and a look behind the trust box. Tonight from 9 to midnight Eastern only on Game Show Network.
Have you heard? There's a better way to mop. The old-fashioned way is messy, time-consuming, and you're spreading filthy water all over your floor. Well, not anymore. Presenting the Swiffer Wet Jet Power Mop with Jet Action Sprayer. It's the fun and easy way to get your floors unbeatably clean in half the time. The Wet Jet isn't just a mop. It's a mopping machine with advanced features that a lookalike doesn't have. Just slide in the cleaning solution and press on the mop pad. Then simply spray, mop, and toss. It's that easy. WetJet's advanced cleaning solution has a special ingredient that attracts dirt like a magnet. Use it for any mess on virtually any floor, from linoleum to finished wood.
You want it quick and easy. This could do it. To be able to throw the pad away and forget about it, that's great. It's very easy just to move around. There's nothing complicated. The spray really shoots far. I could see my daughter having a lot of fun with this as well. I'll start Swiffering instead of mopping.
Don't be fooled by a lookalike. It doesn't have WetJet's advanced features, and we're gonna prove it. Okay, you get the Swiffer WetJet, and you get this lookalike. Let's see how they stack up. WetJet has a wide, even jet action spray. The lookalike doesn't. WetJet's mop pads are thick and super absorbent, so they clean better than this lookalike's thin cloths. Watch, the WetJet pad absorbs 3 times more dirt and liquid, locking it deep inside. That's because only WetJet pads feature a super absorbent lockaway core, so your floors dry to a clean, brilliant shine with far less residue. Plus, WetJet pads have these unique cleaning cups that sweep up dirt and hair. WetJet saves you money, too. In fact, each pad cleans 3 times more floor. The Swiffer WetJet. Stop cleaning, start Swiffering.
To get your Swiffer WetJet, go to a store near you and look for the purple box. During this exclusive offer, call the toll-free number and receive a $5 off certificate to purchase the Swiffer WetJet starter kit for only $19.99. There's no faster, easier way to get your floors unbeatably clean. Pick one up today.
They don't call him TV's big dealer for nothing. Catch Monty Hall on Let's Make a Deal coming up next. Then it's the $25,000 pyramid and win, lose, or draw.
That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you all next time on To Tell the Truth. So long.
This is Burton Richardson speaking for To Tell the Truth, the Mark Goodson television production.